Welcome back to another episode of PA Whiskey Guys. I'm Chris, along here with Jesse and John. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, fellas.
Yeah.
It's good to be back with you this
Back
week.
at it again, yeah. Doing good.
I was out on the golf course this week, so let me tell you, it's going great here.
It's getting nice. It's finally getting nice, I think. I don't know. We might get some cold weather at the end of the week or whatever from what I was looking at, but...
Yeah, that's why we got whiskey to keep us warm.
Yeah, that is very true.
Apparently I haven't been drinking enough because I had to go back to the chiropractor this morning, so...
That's that golf game you got there.
Yeah, that's too many swings out of my shoes.
Happy St. Patty's Day, Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
for the Americans.
I didn't do anything.
We're missing this by a day. We're recording on Tuesday. We definitely dropped the ball on the old St. Patty's Day stuff. Could have did old Irish whiskey episode, but...
I thought about it tonight.
Yeah, we'll get there next year
A
maybe.
little late.
So,
Alright, so let's bring in today's episode. It's going to be a Knob Creek episode. So we have a few different tries here. We're going to work with the Knob Creek 7-year rye, the Knob Creek 9-year. What is that? It's your store select?
yes.
Go with that one.
There's a store pick and there's a regular Knob Creek 9 Reserve, which those aren't the normal Knob Creek 9s that you see in the store.
That's not.
The regular one is a 100 proof bottle, so these are a little bit higher octane today.
Okay, yeah, that's the 120. That's the single barrel.
Yeah.
And then the single barrel select.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we have the kicker is going to be the 12-year.
Yeah, 12 year.
That one I already know I like.
Yeah, it's a good
I've
one.
had that one.
Yeah.
9 years I haven't had yet. The 7-year rye I haven't had yet, but the 12-year I do enjoy this one.
Yeah, we were talking about, when we did the budget bourbon episode, and, we did 30 and under, but 40 and under, and these pushed the limit a little bit of 40, because I think we're all seeing price hikes now, so take that as for what it is, but Knob Creek is around the $41 mark, I think. Not the selects, not the store picks or anything like that. They're a little bit more. The 120 proof ones are a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But like
what
the
that
rye,
was.
the rye you can get sometimes for 37.
Wow.
Yeah, if they run the sale here.
Yeah, in PA
Buy one,
they have a sale. The 9s I think are like 41, 42 maybe, unless it went up. I haven't bought a regular 9-year for the bourbon in a while, but
I didn't realize there was a difference when I picked that one up. I didn't know.
and they're changing again. The labeling is definitely changing again, and I believe they are doing away with the 9-year, and it's all going to be 10-year age stated on the bottle. 10-year stated.
Yeah.
The rye is different. I don't know about the rye because I think there's differences there, but the regular bourbon is a 10-year age stated for just the regular shelfer.
Now they have another rye besides its 7-year, right?
They have a select.
Right.
Single barrel select, so it is a single barrel.
How many years is that one? 9?
I thought it was a 10-year. I'm not sure, but I could be wrong about that. I know they've changed them, so
I just seen it in one of the stores too, but I can't recall the age
yeah.
on the bottle.
I had one. I don't recall what it was either off the top of my head. Looking back at the one that I did have, there is no age statement on the bottle. I'm looking it up actually on my phone. It was a single barrel select rye, so similar to the bourbon. It's 115 proof on that one. It's about it. So
That's that one. Yeah. Okay.
But
So as far as the Knob Creek goes, let's dig into a little bit of history, I guess, right?
yes, Knob Creek. So this is a Jim Beam product.
Jim Beam.
They produce several things, which is actually, this is a pretty cool story. I actually knew some of it, but not all of it. Knob Creek was released in 1992 by Booker No. He's a 6th generation master distiller. Knob Creek became a prized member of the Beam Small Batch Bourbon Collection. When they released it, I believe, and this might go into the story or whatever, that they released Knob Creek to compete with the higher priced whiskeys or the top shelf whiskeys at the time. Going back to 1992. not sure what else was out there, but they released it as Small Batch, which I believe they were one of the first that started the whole Small Batch program.
Right.
You know, with the barrels they selected or whatever like that. The collection that they have here is also Basil Hayden, which we've mentioned a couple times. Bakers and Bookers, all part of the Jim Beam family. They go after the pre-prohibition style of bourbons that were being made back then. The whiskey spends more time in the barrel. They bottle it at a higher proof, you know, versus like, I guess I'm gonna assume that they're referring to like the 80 proof, you know, regular bourbons back in the day and stuff like that. So, and a really interesting fact, which I did not know this bourbon is named for a creek that ran behind Abraham Lincoln's childhood home in Kentucky.
Yep.
That's actually pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely didn't know that. So, the ownership of Knob Creek is, again, Jim Beam or Beam Suntory. You know, the Suntory group is out of Osaka, Japan, which I knew they were over there, but I didn't know where. So that's also pretty cool. You know. So, yeah, these are Jim Beam's pretty good.
Yeah, they have a pretty good variety of whiskeys. You know, rye, bourbon.
I think this is the first one that we've done from Jim Beam.
Yeah, we haven't done anything.
No,
I don't think so. You know, like as Chris mentions that we don't have the history on Jim Beam. You know, we're doing straight Knob Creek on this one. You know, so there's a lot of history, a lot of storied history behind, you know, the whole family and stuff like that. It's, you know, obviously every distillery's got a story. Every whiskey's got a story for the most part. You know,
That's the cool thing.
Definitely, a lot of history behind it.
what's keeping you going back to it. You know.
Yeah, that's the cool
So-
thing.
But yeah, it's good. Knob Creek's good stuff. It's found in every bar probably in America, like we've said in some other,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, some of the other things that we've had.
Definitely less time hunting these bottles than and more time to enjoy them.
Yeah. So.
Do they release their mash bills? I didn't see anything on a mash bill.
No, they don't. I believe.
No, not disclosed.
It's not disclosed.
I was looking for that earlier. I didn't see one.
Now, I mean,
was
we
interested
have
just 'cause of the rye.
we have some notes here. I mean, the rye doesn't have a mash bill disclosed.
No.
You know, not to
12
jump
year
ahead, the
did.
12-year does, and I guess we'll cover that when we get to that spot
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, we'll
Yeah.
pour that one. But yeah, the rye does not. So, if I had to guess, I've had this. You guys, I don't know if you guys had this before. Or
No,
whatever.
this is the first time.
First time for Chris. I've having it or whatever.
Yeah, I've had this a few times.
My guess is that this is probably 51% rye.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit sweeter, so I'm thinking that there's a little bit more corn in this one.
Okay.
But I don't really know, you know.
Because we've had them as far as the 95% rye, I think was the last one we did.
Yeah, we had that in that was the Bardstown. When
Yes,
we did the
yes,
Bardstown
Bardstown.
ones. They were 95.5s, yeah.
95%.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into a nose on this.
Yeah, so yeah, as Chris said, we're trying the rye first. The rye, then a couple bourbons, you know.
Yeah,
So again, this rye is the 7-year rye. Comes in at 100 proof. So again, we're at that little bit of a higher proof mark than your traditional. Right away, a bubble gum, man.
oh, definitely.
I'm almost getting that on the nose a little bit.
Yeah.
I stopped by to see John yesterday, and we cracked the rye. I'm not even gonna say because we'll do a review on it, but we cracked the rye. We knows that, you know, we're doing what we normally do, and we tasted it. And as soon as he said bubblegum, and I was like, exactly like bubblegum.
Bang, it was
and
right
it was
there.
like juicy fruit bubblegum. It was actually pretty crazy. Now, do we get that every time? Because we had, you know, went back for a second and third taste on it, and I got more banana on that one. Like,
On the nose?
no, on the palate.
Okay.
And it was like the bananas that are in runts. Remember the runts candy?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what it was like. You know, it was like artificially, but it was so good.
Oh, it was pretty
See,
prominent, too.
this isn't just like your double bubble. This is like the bazooka bubble.
I hear a lot of times where
bubblegum.
bazooka's a good term, and this is where I'm gonna go with this one because you just reminded me. A couple other podcasts I listen to, they describe the bubblegum flavor as the gum that you get in like a baseball card pack, like Topps baseballs.
Like a
baseball
Cracker
cards.
Jacks box, too.
Yeah,
Yep.
like that
Open
type
a
of
pack
gum.
of cards, and you would always keep your fingers crossed it wasn't busted up into pieces.
Yeah. Dehydrated bubble gum.
Yes.
And they say I'm too young to know that kind of stuff.
Definitely vanilla on the nose.
Yeah, I'm getting a little vanilla.
Yeah,
It's
vanilla.
definitely, you get the sweetness of this one, you know. We don't talk about it too often. It's got a pretty good color, you know. It's a little bit lighter than some of your bourbons. Again, it's only 7 years old, so that obviously plays a factor. But
Yeah, definitely a nice complex aroma on the nose.
Now, on the taste, I'm going to say it's long lingering, but that lingers around for a little bit. But I'm going to describe this as, you always see the short videos online or whatever of those guys rolling candy,
Right.
where they pour it out on the table and they're rolling.
Oh, right, yeah, the old school
The
candy.
rolled apple, green apple
There
candy.
you go.
That is the flavor I'm getting on this.
yeah, I'm getting a faint apple taste in there.
Yeah, not like a fresh apple
Yeah.
you would eat, but that I don't want to call it artificial apple, but that candy apple.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
I like
it is
this
a
one.
tasty one.
You said you like this in old fashions too.
I do, yeah. I had a bottle, I don't know, probably 2 weeks ago, and we kicked it kind of fast at the house, making an old 1 or 2 a night or whatever, as a nightcap, or as they say. And
Yeah.
it's good. I don't ever recall using, Knob Creek Rye in it, in an old fashioned, but
No.
it was damn tasty, And I make them the same way I make them with bourbon or anything.
Right.
I make them with the same. I'm always trying different ones. I keep it simple. I know people use crazy sugars and all kinds of different bitters and stuff like that. And I tried them, but I was back to the go-to.
I get a little bit of the rice spice on it as well. Not a lot.
It's not
though. It's not overpowering.
not a very spicy in your face type.
No, just a little bit.
I'm getting the spice in the back of my throat.
Yeah, it lingers on the palate a little bit.
Yeah, sides of your tongue, you get it a little bit.
And I'm getting like that vanilla note, and along with that, like a creme brulee. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's pretty good.
I like
It's been a
this one.
while since I've had this, but it's nice to revisit it tonight here on the podcast.
It is. It's a go-to. Like
It's another 100 proof one that you don't realize is 100 proof.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Like,
Yeah, well, it
comes in
doesn't
at a
drink that
lower
way. No
proof,
way.
you know?
Yeah, it's sweet. It's the sweet that up front that it doesn't lead to
Right.
beating you up right off the bat.
And the finish is good too. It lingers there, but it's not. To me, it's not spicy. I get a little bit of a rye spice or baking spice, whatever.
Right.
I don't get the high ethanol or the high proof spice to it. It's like that cooking spice.
Yeah, it's very
flavorful.
Yeah.
There's a lot. That's I want to call it almost a complex, like very balanced.
It's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
a
for your-
very deep flavor to it.
I'm getting like fruity. It's more fruity now. On
Yeah.
the second and third sip for me, it's like fruity.
It's
the
crazy how
the bubblegum thing is gone. That's
Yeah,
gone.
I only had that in the nose. I didn't taste any of that.
No, I didn't really taste it either.
The
But
biggest taste was the apple. That was it.
yeah, this kind of reminds me of when we did the Michter's a little bit. It's not as spicy. It's definitely not as
Right,
spicy.
no, definitely not as much.
And it's not. This was sweeter, I think, than the
Yes,
Michter's was.
definitely.
I think with the Michter's I still had a lot of that green apple on it. But that was
Definitely
actual
more-
green apple
Yeah,
on.
that
wasn't
I get
candy
that
apple.
one too.
yeah.
Yeah, this one's it's there. I don't want to say apple. I agree with what you're saying. It's a fruit for me more than apple or picking one out. So
I'm gonna have to throw this into the golf bag.
yeah. I mean, again, another one that's on the shelves. I mean, that's
It's an affordable bottle for 18
Yes,
holes.
It is.
yeah. Yep.
All right. So definitely a thumbs up on this one from me.
Yeah, thumbs up here.
As far as the rye goes alone, I mean, I've become to like the ryes.
Yeah.
I think that's my forte right now.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Ryes are good.
Always
In general,
been a
they're
rye
good.
fan.
I mean,
And what's nice about this is you could find it. I mean, you could walk into any fine wine and good spirits. It's there. And, you don't have to go on a crazy hunt to find a bottle that you can enjoy at a pretty good price as well.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So all of our thoughts are pretty good.
Yeah, I think overall, consensus.
Yeah, it's
Thumbs
a good
up.
one. It's definitely a good one. Like so we're not going to stray any away from, we're pretty honest with these reviews. We're doing what we're doing. We're enjoying it. We're just getting together when we do these podcasts. It's more of us getting together and enjoying a pour and stuff like that. We're not going to pick something that we don't really like, I guess.
No. Or that we know we don't.
We're not
like.
getting.
Yeah.
We're not.
We're
Not a big enough podcast to get stuff sent to us like some people do, and I feel their reviews, YouTube reviews, are sometimes biased and stuff like that. I mean, we're buying what we like. Essentially, that's what we're doing. Chris, you're starting out kind of with these. John, you've had quite a few different varieties of bourbon and rye over the years.
Yeah.
And on that note too, though, I will buy something I don't know anything about just to try it.
Yeah, just to try it for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to go in on the blind. Yeah,
I've had that tank and not work out.
Right.
Like that one I just had from North Carolina. I'm not going to mention the distiller for sakes of that, but my first take on it, I didn't like it. It was supposed to be a rye.
Right.
And to me, it was more of a moonshine than a bourbon rye. So.
I forget what I was going to say. You mentioned about the distiller from Carolina or whatever. You bought it or whatever. And it's good to give anybody business, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But your palate's different than our palates.
You guys might
someone's
like
gonna walk into that distillery and love it. I mean, there's $200 bottles of whiskey that nobody's gonna like.
Yeah.
It's someone will, someone likes it because that's obviously why they're making it or whatever.
Everything's subjective.
Or the distiller, the master distiller. They like it.
And I tell you, it's got that moonshine twang to it.
Yeah,
it's
different. It's
so
a different brand. It's I don't know who
but
you're
it's
talking
young.
about. It's a craft distillery. One. These guys are mainstream.
Yeah.
These guys have been doing it for the 1800s. So
and I'm gonna say it's not 9 years old. It's
right.
not 7 years old.
Right.
That might. I don't even know if that's 4 years old.
The sweet spot for me personally, is 6 to 8 years old for me.
Yeah.
You could taste the youth in a 4-year-old whiskey.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Sometimes it's a little bit better than others, but you can taste it. That's where, your average beginner starting out is not going to spend $60 on a bottle.
Right.
They might spend $40, but that $40 bottle might stray them away from buying a $60 bottle in the future.
True.
Because they get the burn, they get it in their nose, you feel it in your chest when you're drinking it down. As we said, the Kentucky hug. It's the burn in your chest and the back of your throat, and it's good to it's good to do what we're doing. Like get together with some beginners. We can host. Have a party and host like a beginners bourbon thing. We know what we're kind of talking about. I guess we've tried enough over the years.
A little bit,
Trial by fire.
Yeah, I mean that's how I guess that's how we learned. So.
All right, so we'll move on. Let's go ahead and hit up the Knob Creek Single Barrel Select Bourbon. All right, John, where is this from?
So this is a fine wine and good spirits store pick.
So a PA.
Correct, PA.
Okay, so this is a Pennsylvania store pick, 9-year single barrel select. Right on the nose.
And this is 120 proof.
120 proof, yeah.
So we're jumping up quite a bit now.
Yeah.
So this one you should feel this one a little bit.
Off the nose, I'm definitely getting a semi-fruit, sweet nose on it.
Get some cinnamon in there. I'm getting like a vanilla custard.
Okay.
Creamy aroma to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, considering it's 120 proof, I'm not getting
like a cream soda though.
Yeah, there you go.
That's kind of what.
I almost got a quick note of like like butterscotch, but it was
Butterscotch,
there
yeah.
faintly, and now I'm not getting it.
I get a lot of like a cream soda, like a fruity.
And the longer you nose this, you definitely start to get the 120 proof aroma.
Yeah.
It's there.
Just a little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit.
It's there.
So yeah, this one here, this bottle, I've had this for a little bit. It's actually been a while since I've had this, since we poured it tonight.
Yeah, me too. I've been
for the-
trying a
for
lot
the
of
podcast
different.
there.
I've been trying a lot of different. Obviously, we're trying to make this work. So, the whole podcast thing. So we're trying some different bottles here and there or whatever. But this is 100% not necessarily a store pick or the select barrels or whatever. Their everyday Knob Creek should be on your shelf all times. I think.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
bottle.
we've been seeing the 12-year more and more though.
Yeah, we have.
Like that one
Yeah.
wasn't around
We
at
have.
all.
We
And then
have.
we're seeing that more.
I'm curious. I mean, you kind of had the 12-year, right? You
yeah,
tasted it and
yeah. I
stuff,
enjoyed
and
the 12-year.
It's different from the 9. It's got a
Oh,
little
yeah.
more. Not to jump the
Yeah.
gun, but it's got that oakiness to it. I think.
Yeah.
And it's another term we'll get into.
After tasting this one, so this is the 9-year, the select. After tasting it though, it still has that sweet. I could tell the higher proof is on the back of the tongue,
Right, yeah.
but it's not over
It's got a little bit of the Kentucky
overly
note going on.
powerful.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
For
not-
120 proof, it's not
the
not
finish.
a
The finish lasts longer. You get a little
Yeah.
spice in the finish or whatever. For me, anyway.
Yeah, again, it's not the baking spice though, but
Right.
that's that high proof spice that I
Yeah.
get. But it's not overpowering. That's very tasty.
kind of on that finish. I would say it's got a little bit of like Red Hots, the candy, and cinnamon and
The
a
cinnamon.
little bit
I
of
don't
a
get
burn.
cinnamon.
No?
I don't get cinnamon in a lot of the things we try.
Or I'm thinking hot tamales. I'm sorry.
Hot tamales.
Hot
It's still
tamales,
cinnamon.
yeah,
Yeah, it's still cinnamon. I don't know if this is true for this bottle. I would assume that it is. One of the things we didn't really talk about, we kind of jumped into, right into the tastings or whatever. But these, like when they produce these liquors and stuff like that, this is the same. This is the same recipe as Baker's, Booker's, and Basil Hayden.
Like the same
it's
mash
just proofed
bill?
differently, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all proofed differently. This one, on the notes that I pulled up for this, when I'm doing some of the research on these, it says it's 75% corn, 13 rye, and 12% malted barley, which again I believe is the same thing for all the what I just listed.
Right.
Like Basil Hayden, I know Basil because I've had Basil. That's fantastic. It's another
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that's a great taste to it.
Right.
But for me personally, the proof is too low.
It's low,
It's
right.
like compared to this, you could tell that it's a lower proof, and it's
Yeah.
like it kind of lacks that little flavor.
Right.
But as someone getting into it, Basil's is awesome.
Oh, it's a good. Yeah, it's a good
It's-
entry.
it's
I've
awesome.
never had
Bourbon.
basil.
Yeah, I've gone through quite a few. They have a really good selection of basils. Like
Yeah, they've
they make a
expanded
10-year.
that
I
a lot,
never had
yeah.
the 10-year.
No.
They make a subtle smoke one, so it's got like that little Scotchish flavor or
Yeah.
whatever, and they make a toasted barrel.
Yeah, they have a dark rye.
They have a wine finished one.
kit,
Like
yeah.
they make quite a few things. It's good, but this is good. This is a good one.
Yeah, I
too.
like this one.
The Knob Creek is awesome. I would never turn down a pour. of
No,
this,
it's
ever.
nice to revisit this tonight. Like I said, this bottle is
Right, it's when you think about it, you have
2021,
you have
I
it
picked
sitting
it up,
for
yeah.
it's 2021.
Yeah,
Wow.
2021. Yeah,
Wow.
late in 2021. So.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I finished it last year, but I had a single barrel select of this and the rye, and they were both fantastic. I always loved them. So
And it's weird too for revisiting this tonight how good it is. And I mean, like I said, this bottle just kind of got lost and pushed to the back. And I mean, I would definitely pull this back up front.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it's complex, it's very flavorful.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, it does have a little more heat to it.
I'd
But I
say
mean, the flavor
more
on
complex
top
than
of
that
it,
7-year too.
Yeah.
More complex than that 9, that rye, but also more proof.
yeah, I mean, again, it's a totally different thing compared to the rye or whatever, but it's a good one for sure.
That's the thing. I mean, you could have that higher proof, but as long as it's got the flavor to go over the top of that, then to me personally, that's when it's a nice balance.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So overall, what are you guys thinking? Thumbs up?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
I'm still gonna lean more towards that rye, but
Yeah, you're
that
right,
9
junkie,
years.
man.
Yeah,
It's tough to
I
pull
think
you
The Ryes are taking over for you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so.
They're taking over for you. I mean,
I think
they're
so.
good. I mean, it's you know,
I'm only busting you. I'm guilty of that too. So.
Oh yeah, no, hey,
like I think a lot of people are.
My
You
palate.
know, I know a couple other guys that we always mention them. You know, we're talking. You know, we want to get them involved with us, and they're on the ride train. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I hear a lot of people hate on rye though too. A lot of people put a rye down, but I think they're scared of the spice. When the spice in a good one
Right.
isn't, it's
Right.
not a hot
Yeah.
spice. It's the like your
Yeah, I
baking
mean-
spice, like your rye spice. It's not your powerful proof spice.
Right.
It's your
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna compare again. If this mash bill is
grain
true for
spice.
this one, you know, you're talking 13% rye in this bourbon
Yeah.
versus definitely 51, at least 51% in
Yeah.
in
Right,
this
yeah.
Knob Creek rye. You know,
Yeah.
then you jump up to a 95.5 or whatever. I mean, you know, some people like you're right. They might not like that whole spice part of it. You know, so I don't think it's as bad as. You know, you gotta try them. Basically, what it comes down, you gotta try them. You know.
you gotta try them to know if you
And
like
that's,
them.
and that's the fun of it all. I mean, you know, it's tough sometimes to go in on a bottle that might be 60, 70, 80 bucks that you haven't had before, but it's all about the experience.
You know,
That's where you
but-
gotta go to an
yeah.
establishment that you can try them at.
Or you
Yeah,
can try, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you go to a place
Good
that
point, yeah.
has a good menu. But again, you know, saying that $60, $70 or whatever the price may be.
Yeah.
You know, we did the bourbon, the budget bourbons.
Right.
A lot of people don't think about those. It's on the bottom shelf. You know, typically it's literally on
Oh,
the
yeah.
bottom shelf.
25
20
bucks,
bucks,
right.
but you're getting a quality product.
Yeah,
Again, we said it earlier in this one. You know, you drink what you like. You know, your palate's different than mine, and so on. It's good.
I mean,
The
price.
fun world of bourbon.
Yeah. Like price will always dictate quality to a certain degree, but you can't use that as a judging point.
All right, so we're all thumbs up on this.
Yeah, thumbs up
Let's
here.
go to number 3.
Right. So we are moving on to the Knob Creek 12. And I got to say, first time having this.
Never had the 12.
Never had the
Never
12.
had the 12,
Never
yeah.
had the 12.
It
First
was-
timer tonight.
It was scarce for a while.
Yeah.
Not that I've been looking for it in the stores. I believe, you know, the stores that I visit, I believe that they still had it.
Yeah, it's definitely out there. It's kind of, I don't want to say hit or miss.
It's definitely been around more than it has been.
Right, yes.
You know, as we're talking about the 12 too, they, you know, Knob Creek, as I was just mentioning about Basil Hayden or whatever, with the other varieties they have, and Booker's. Booker's also has many, many, many different varieties. I've only ever had one Booker's in my time of drinking any of these things.
Yeah.
I never had a Booker's either.
It was good.
I've only had the original.
There's a lot of talk about Booker's being super, super hot, as the term goes, when you drink it.
Like proofy wise, like
Just
talking about the high
like
proof hot.
it hits you pretty
Very
good. Like,
heavy, dense.
Okay.
But I thought it was actually very, very. It was actually very, very good. I do get the reference to the hotness part of it, but it was very, very good. So, with the Knob Creek, you know, like I said, they do a bourbon, they do a rye, they do a smoked maple. It's like
I haven't had that one.
it's like maple syrup, but it's like you still get that whiskey taste. Man, is it good!
And I got to say,
It's
I'm guilty.
sweet though.
That
It's
is
very sweet.
That is a guilty pleasure of mine, the Knob Creek smoked maple.
That's
It
your
is good.
typical. That's your after dinner dessert drink before you go to bed because it's good. It's sweet though. It's definitely sweet, and they also make an 18-year-old of the Knob Creek,
Right.
which is a little
We
bit more
had
pricey.
that.
We did have it. We tried it. Yeah, we
That
got
one was-
a little pour of it.
I enjoyed that one. That one was good.
Now, was the 15-year-old still in production or no?
They skip years if I had
Okay,
if
they
I
skip,
if
right.
I could remember correctly.
Okay.
I think when I was doing some research on these bottles that we have, that the 15 is either due out this year, sometime
Okay.
this year, or in 2026, I believe that they're going to be bringing it back. But the 18-year-old, and I didn't know this because I really wasn't into, the higher end bourbons, if you will, because the 18's got that price tag to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? 18's like at least 160, 170.
Yeah, it's a little
here
more
in
of a
PA.
commitment.
But the 18 was only introduced in 2022.
Right,
Which
yeah, it's relatively
which
new.
is crazy, and I'm not sure when the 15 year was or the 12 was even.
Right.
I don't know the dates on those because I didn't.
Have you seen the 18 in PA?
I've seen it.
I remember seeing
it's
it in New York.
actively in a couple stores local to us here.
Okay.
in where
Yeah.
we live.
Because I remember seeing it in New York. And that's the only reason I say that. So
Oh yeah, we did see it there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did see it in the case when they had it.
I did have this 12-year over the summertime sitting by the pool.
Yeah.
That's how much I liked it. Like out in the sun and the hop. I mean,
Yep.
usually a lot of your... I mean, now this one is 100 proof.
Yeah,
So
so we
with it-
jumped back down a little bit in proof wise or
Right.
whatever, but
So with it being a longer aged bourbon, I would assume that your hotter days, some would stray away from it, but to me it was very enjoyable.
So one of
now
the-
I do drink it on the rocks.
one of the things that they say when you get to these aged bourbons, and I believe that, I will say this, when we did a little bit of the tasting of the 18 that we had when we went out to dinner that night, you get definitely more of the wood, and you get that. If you've ever had a super dry wine, you get that tannic flavor, the tannins coming out, and I feel that these start getting that way where it dries
they
your mouth
amplify.
out. Some people like it, and some people hate it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because I like dry wine.
See, I don't like dry wine, but I do like
But I
this.
bet you if you tried some dry wines after drinking some of these, especially again, a little pour of the 18, but you drink these because this, I do get the tannic part of this.
I can see what you're saying, where like
Where
a
it dries out
cottonmouth,
your tongue, your tongue's dried out,
You get that cottonmouth feel
Yeah,
going.
kind of. Not as bad. I mean, some dry wines are really, really bad,
Well, it's just like that when we tried yesterday. Not to bounce off subject here, but the Redwood Empire, the haystack needle,
Yeah, yes.
that has that really heavy finish to
Yep.
it, but that heavy tannin presence.
Yeah, definitely heavy tans, which is, again, that's the barrel age, I mean, 18, that's the most aged whiskey I've ever had. It was 18 year. I don't think I've had anything other than that, so. Not even on the, I mean, again, apples and oranges when you go to the Scotch side, but I don't think so. Like 18 years is pretty old for me.
Yeah, I had a
15
think
year
the
when you
oldest-
had the old GTS.
Oh yeah.
That's 15 year age.
Eagle Rare 17,
Never had that one.
2013.
No. So on the nose of this one, it smells like I walk into the Gertrude Hawk.
Oh, you're getting like that cocoa aroma
Yeah,
and
like
all
you
that.
walk
Okay,
into
yeah.
Gertrude Hawks. Now, for those of you listening, Gertrude Hawk is a local chocolate factory around us. They have a few outlet stores around, but the factory is very local.
Yeah,
so
right.
So and I was just in there, so that's why it brings it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
makes sense.
getting more vanilla and wood on this one, more oak.
Yeah, definitely.
I am getting a little bit of fruit in there. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting a little dusty note, as the term goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a little bit of a
Like
like
a-
a barnyard funk to
like
it.
an age I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's kind of got that.
Like when you walk into an old room, it just
yeah,
has that.
like an old.
Not like a musty kind of aroma.
not
but
musty,
it's,
but it's like
it's just
that.
got.
It's like that.
It's got
dusty
like an
smell.
old kind of stale aroma to it.
And then again, I always say I don't think I have the greatest. I can't pick up on some of the flavors sometimes or whatever, but I'm referring to the notes here that we have, and it's saying leathered fruits.
Yeah, kind of makes
So
makes
that's
sense.
probably I
Yeah.
get the fruit part, and I guess the dusty part is probably the leather
The
part.
leather, yeah.
I don't know. It's good. It's
See, I don't get so much caramel, but I get more of a toffee, or not a toffee, a truffle.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
that.
Right.
So I don't know what a truffle is. Caramel.
yeah, I get
kinda,
that. Yeah, I kind
right?
of get that. Yeah, I get where you're going
but
with
a
that.
truffle.
Looking at our notes here, I mean, I'm not really seeing or smelling the aroma of it like toasted coconut.
No.
No, definitely not
No.
coconut.
But then again, I don't really know toasted coconut too well.
I
wouldn't
get a sweetness.
know.
I'm getting kind of more fruity. This
Yeah,
for me.
definitely, yeah,
Again, it's
fruity,
our
yeah.
third pour, and our third different one, I should say. And I'm getting fruity sweetness, but it's not sweet like candy sweet or anything like that. I'm getting even I can feel it like on my kind of like on my
Right.
teeth actually, which is that that wood part and the tannin part of it or whatever, you know. This is an everyday pour for me.
Oh yeah,
which I have done. You know, this is half a bottle full left.
Yeah.
You
This
know?
is a pleasant pour.
oh yeah. That's why this is. I know I've had this. I know I like it.
And
This
you
is
could definitely
one of my favorites.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell the difference in the proof compared to the single barrel we just did. Yeah.
I thought the single barrel was the finish was the proof part for me.
Okay, right.
It was, I hate to say the word, but it was smooth. Like the first couple sips were very smooth for me.
Yeah, and then it kind of builds.
And then you get the heat kind of from the proof part, which makes sense.
You got the heat in the back end a little bit.
on the back end.
Well, this one,
back end.
this one you don't. I get more of a spice on the tip of the tongue. Mm-hmm. The finish, there's nothing there though.
Yeah.
There's not. It's not hot on the back end.
Yeah, it's quick and clean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like so for this one, I'm gonna put this one ahead of the rest.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to compare this to the rye. I definitely think it's
Two different
better. It's
categories.
definitely better than the 9-year.
I get a little bit of. Actually, I still get a little green apple on this one though.
Get some apple on this.
Right? I mean, it's not.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, like right on the finish.
yeah,
It hits, and then it's gone.
it's a lingering, a little bit of a lingering green apple for me.
Geez, now you're gonna have to get me to get one of these in the cabinet.
Yeah.
This is pretty.
Yeah, this one's
This is
good.
very good. Yeah.
Like I said, this bottle I've definitely had it over 6-7 months. I would say.
Yeah, I'm on my second.
And it's not that I've been not searching for it. I have seen it in the past, but I knew I had some. But I wanted to expand on trying some other ones. But this is one that I would always buy.
Well, it's crazy here because correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't PA last year at Fine Wine and Good Spirits close this out? The 12-year-old. Remember they had
It was
a
like $40.
crazy sale on it.
It was $40 a bottle.
It was literally
It's
gone.
70. I think I paid
like,
$71 for this one. It was $40
day
a
or
bottle.
two.
Yeah, and it was gone in an instant. Yeah.
And what was the reason behind was that?
Last year was when I
change?
picked mine up. My first bottle was last year.
Last year's when I got
Last of the
this
summer.
too. No, I have actually had more than one of these bottles though, in my time from collecting or whatever. I would have to think that it is a label change.
Okay.
I think they did change the labels a little
Right.
bit. I know that. I know, like looking at the rye, I know the rye's changing.
Yeah, that's
And I
changing.
definitely know the 9 years because they're going to 10.
Right.
So.
But I did look. That other rye that we were talking about is a 10-year. I don't know. Did we say that?
It's new coming out this year. It's a new
Yeah.
release for this year.
Yeah.
It's 10-year age stated for the 10.
Yeah, so that's going to be in a rye as well.
Yeah. Yep. Which I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, we'll have
add
to do
another
like
3 years onto the
We'll
rye.
have to do like a follow-up episode, with some of these newer ones
Yeah.
coming up.
Again, I'd like to see comments and stuff from people that are listening, as far as what they think about these.
Yeah, we're slowly building a following. You know,
Yeah.
you guys don't see the stats that I do for those that are listening. You know, I
Right.
kind of set all this up, and I'm following along with the stats or whatever, and like that. Most people, they're listening on Apple. You know, it's popular. Spotify's
Yeah.
popular. You know,
Okay.
we'd love to do video in the future.
Yeah,
I mean, this
dude.
is fun for us. You know, it's what
yeah.
it is. It's getting together and hanging out. I mean, I
love
enjoy
trying
this.
new stuff.
Every time we
Yeah.
do this, I enjoy it. You know,
Oh,
it's-
absolutely.
it's awesome.
Trying this
So
cool stuff.
Yeah.
you know, but like as Chris said, you know, definitely comment. I know we're not as consistent as and the way the social media stuff works. We need to be posting every day. I mean, that's next to impossible for us. We have full-time jobs, you know, all of us, you know. So it's tough for us
Sometimes
to
that
do it,
full-time
but we're
job
trying.
becomes a day or week-long dedication.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I can't break away from.
you guys travel here and there and stuff like
16
that, you
hours.
know. So
Sometimes that 8-hour shift turns into a 16-hour shift.
No doubt
yeah.
about it.
So
Yeah, we always, we appreciate everybody following along with us here, and hope
100%.
you guys are enjoying your time, on the podcast with us. And yeah, like Chris said, and Jesse, we look forward to seeing your comments and everything, and that way there gives us, a little more time to interact with you guys.
yeah, I know we have a couple suggestions. Like some of our friends, via Facebook reached out to us.
yeah, they said the
Suggestions to
Bardstown.
do some stuff. Yeah, Bardstown.
We
was
did that one.
Yeah.
We did that one. We have a couple other ones that are lined up. This is our 10th episode. If you're not, if
number
you don't
10.
see it in the
Right.
in the things or whatever. So
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna do some blind tastings in the future. You know,
Yeah.
once we have some time to
Yeah.
dedicate to it, that's probably going to be. I mean, right now, just so these guys can see, you know, I'm looking at the computer screen. We're at 40 minutes right now, so a blind tasting is probably going to be about an hour episode.
Yeah.
You know, to do it justice.
Yeah.
And talk about what we want to do and stuff.
These are
like
getting
that.
easier and easier though, as from we started till now. So
Yeah.
I think we're getting a little bit more comfortable with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I know a couple of people that I work with or whatever, and they commented, and you know, it's all about us having a conversation, which is, you know, kind of what we're doing right now. Like, we're totally off the rails right now.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's like we're sitting at a bar, just or
Yeah.
you know,
That's it. That
you know,
that homegrown organic flow is a lot nicer
Yeah.
than going with a scripted flow.
Yeah, I don't like the scripted
No.
stuff.
yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
the scripted
stay
either.
away
Yeah.
from the script.
Yep. But yeah, I mean,
Do we want to try that?
we could do
We're
it.
gonna
All
try
right, we're
that
gonna have
other one.
a last minute entry here.
Yeah, the last
tonight.
Similar to the other one, but the
So-
reserve. So I don't think I've ever had this one. So
No,
Yeah,
the
first time.
Knob Creek. This is the 9-year single barrel reserve. So it is 120 proof.
Keep forgetting tonight's a school night.
yeah, it's Tuesday. I know we
For
said
you
St.
guys,
Patty's
I
Day.
have a
Thirsty
rotating shift.
Tuesday.
Thirsty Tuesday. We missed Whiskey Wednesday by a day.
Well, that's when it usually releases. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
like
excited to try this one tonight.
Yeah.
First time.
I'd like to tie some videos into this. And like I mentioned, golf, we got to do this on the golf course one day. Even if you guys don't golf, ride along.
I used to.
I'll hit the ball.
Those days are long gone. This one that John's pouring now, this is a fresh crack tonight.
Yeah. I
fresh
got
crack.
this. Go ahead. I think I picked this up the end of last year, I want to say. September. Okay,
Yeah, I'm not sure this one's still in the stores for
Perfect,
us.
good.
I know that the selects are out there. I don't know if I've ever seen a reserve.
I gotta say, yeah, I don't think
You've never seen them?
I don't think I've seen that.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it either.
I think this was. I'm gonna go ahead and give the location. I think this was done in State College,
Okay.
Oh,
so it's in Pennsylvania. But
Which is a hotbed
Down in
for it's
They
those couple
have-
stores are
they have 2 or 3
Yeah.
premium stores.
right. Yeah.
So now, as far as premium store goes, to my knowledge, every county usually has one.
they do. That's what that was
Is
what
a
the rumor
premium
was.
store. They
Yeah,
have
3.
3,
Right.
2 or 3. I want to say it was 2, but I think
and they're in
there's a
pretty
third
close
one.
proximity too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
they're very close.
Right.
Yep. Because I usually hit. I'll hit 3 or 4 stores in State
I
College. when go down.
think I don't quote me on this. I wish John, your brother. I wish because he had some inside knowledge on the old liquor store back in his day.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think the premium part, as they call it, is more for the wine.
The wine selection.
Correct.
The wine
Yes.
selection.
Yes.
I have noticed though
But-
their whiskey selection is. a
It
little
is.
bit more-
It is definitely better because I have
Yeah.
a premium store where close to work for me.
Yeah.
And the whiskey selection,
Right.
again, it's a bigger store, little touristy area, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. But
Yeah.
you know,
Oof, man, on the nose on this one. I do enjoy this one.
Well, it's got some fire to it.
Yeah, it
doesn't
does.
Oh yeah.
it's probably the fresh crack.
Yeah, I get. That's like a dark red fruit. That's
So I wanted to say cherry right off the bat.
Yeah,
My
okay,
initial
right,
my
yeah.
initial nose of this was like
Right.
a sweet
Yeah,
cherry.
like a
See, I'm
candy
picking
cherry.
like the
And-
pitted cherry, like the one with the pit in it.
and not for nothing, we were talking about it prior to us recording this podcast. We were talking about the Luxardo cherries.
Oh yeah.
It was like the cherry juice in
Right.
Luxardos or the jar.
Yeah. No shit.
And I kind of still get that a little bit. And not for nothing, this looks a little bit
Yeah,
darker than
a little
the other
darker.
one.
I want to say, jeez, I want to almost compare that friggin'.
And like it is a fresh bottle, so I'm definitely getting a little bit
Yeah,
of
it's
the.
close.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
you're
getting a
right.
little bit of the booze nose on this.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
I was listening to
So this is 120 proof though,
Right.
too.
Yeah. 120. Yeah.
I was listening
We're back
to
up.
a couple podcasts, and they'll never hear us. I'll just call them out. I like it. I enjoy it. They kind of do what we do, just sitting around with a bunch of guys. They're called the Bourbon Hunters. Hopefully someday they listen to us like I listen to them. But they did a barrel pick at, I believe it was Jack Daniels, their last one, and it was either Jack Daniels or Maker's Mark when they went there, and it was, I mean, they're doing literally drinking out of the barrel when they do the pick, and
then when they do the drilling, they drill the barrels.
Yeah, they'll drill it. Yep, and they were all in agreement that they literally had to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes on their tables. I'm just paraphrasing at this point.
Yeah,
but they let it sit, and they noticed a difference from the first taste. Till that 5-minute mark, and it was like
let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah, let the air hit it and stuff. And we've said that, we crack it, go back to it a couple weeks, it's different and stuff. So, what do you guys? I'm looking at you guys. You're tasting it or whatever.
I like this one.
Well, this is good.
Yeah,
it's definitely a fireball.
You think it's different than the other one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, is that a new open?
Right.
Because it's a new crack, or
because that single barrel we hit earlier, that's, like I said, I've had that for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
So it's been breathing a little bit.
This one hits a little heavier.
Yeah.
It seems a little thicker on the tongue.
Yeah.
A little thick, as
my
buddy Jim would say.
It could be because we tried the 12 prior to this.
Right.
I'm getting that dryness.
Dryness right on the back of the tongue.
Yep. I'm getting that dryness in there.
Yeah.
I'm getting, it's fruity though. It's definitely
yes, it is
fruity.
Yeah.
I get a lot of the fruit.
That's like, I'll say juicy fruit.
Yeah, like your mixed reds. I want to say your mixed reds.
That sweetness, that tarty fruit
chewing
thing
on,
going on.
Chew on it a little bit.
Very chewy,
Yeah, you got to chew on this one a little bit. It seems real thick.
Yeah, you get the proof in it. I like it.
Yeah, I do enjoy this one.
Yeah, that's a nice, thick, dense flavor profile there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way of putting it.
I mean, you don't even have to get a lot of the bourbon on your palate.
No.
I mean, just a little hit and it's flavor town. Just boom, right on your palate.
The proof for me disappears faster than the single barrel one.
Yeah, it hits hard and it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all up front.
Well, this is nice.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, this is a hitter.
So again, you guys listening, 9 years, single barrel reserve, Knob Creek. Again, this was bought in PA. I haven't seen it at our local stores.
No, I'll have to keep my eye open for it.
I thought this was the staple 9 year. Like, I thought this was a regular 9 year when I bought it. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize, not knowing there was another 9 year, honestly. So,
like Jesse was saying earlier, it's kind of been a little bit tough to keep track because they've been changing labels and then adjusting some age statements and stuff. The last few years, but I mean, they are very consistent with their packaging. Their breakdown of what the bottle is, the age, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, they're doing some cask strengths that are coming out now, so you're gonna see probably sub or above 120 proof.
Really?
I did see a label for a 119 proof. It was bourbon. It was definitely a bourbon, not a rye.
You're rolling out some hazmat proof.
But
see, I feel like that would be almost a cask strength right here with the 120. I feel like that would be.
These guys put it in. I think
it goes in at 125.
I think we skipped over that in our little notes here, whatever. They barrel at 125 proof and proof down.
Okay.
Which is I think 125 proof is like a, I don't want to say industry standard, but that's basically what they do.
They go
So they'll proof it down to 100. They'll proof it down to 120. So, like I said, that 119, they call it cask strength. So that could be a totally different barrel. Or a different thing that they're doing. But
I'd like to try it though, because again, I've mentioned before, I like the cask strengths, like your single barrels. I mean, your cask strengths right out of the barrel. That's what I like. Don't add water to it. I want to know what it is.
No modification.
Yeah. And that, to me, the flavor profile on these kind of go along with a lot of the cask strengths that we've had.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I mean all the Knob Creek ones. Just the flavors alone are very good.
Yeah.
On all of them.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and rate these.
It's more a sweet flavor. It's more a sweet.
Right. Yes.
Sweet flavored forward whiskey.
Right up my alley.
Yeah.
I would go to Dairy Queen every day if we had one right by it. But
nice.
We don't have one, so I can't. Rita's, I wish you were listening, and I wish you would go ahead and open already.
Yeah.
I was on the golf course. It's warm enough. Let's go. All right. I'm going to rate these real quick before we end this. So I'm going to go with... Sorry, John.
Hey, no offense.
Sorry, John. Your store pick?
Bottom of the
Yeah,
pack.
that's fourth.
All right.
I know you're not going to believe this. Number 7 or number 3 is the 7-year. I'm going to put the rye at number 3.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, that's a little bit of a curveball.
It's down between the 12 and the reserve.
Coming in at number 2 is going to be the single barrel 9.
Okay.
And my top pick for the Knob Creek is the 12-year. Now, maybe I might be a little biased on this because I drank it all summer, but that's my number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's my number 1 too.
Yeah.
And I'll third that motion.
It's definitely
Not
my
going
number
with the
1.
flow.
And that
but
was
it
his
is-
first time having it.
It's out of the
Yeah.
4, it's got the complexity,
Yeah.
it's got the
Yeah.
flavor,
Yeah.
but it's got that smooth element where you could have that on a regular basis
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not burn out your palate.
Yep, I agree with that. That's a definitely statement there.
And I think
I
that's
won't-
the
I
biggest
won't
reason,
rank
too.
the
It's not
rye.
120.
Right, yes.
I won't rank the rye because it's different.
Yeah, it is a lot different.
You know, I get where you're going with ranking them because it like I'm a toss up between John your bottle and the reserve.
Okay.
I think
I gotta say that it is a new crack tooth, so that probably has.
I think
Yeah.
the reserve on the fresh crack, it's got more of a punch, so the flavors are
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But
They get
if I was
overtaken.
going to go back to another pour, I'd go back to the other one, in my opinion.
Right, okay.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
so for me, it would be my second place, not ranking the rye. I'd do 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I'd rank,
Yeah.
I'd rank
Rye's by
the-
itself.
I'd rate the single barrel versus the reserve second for me.
And it'd be interesting to see, give this a couple weeks, maybe a month
Yeah.
or two, revisit it and see, with
It's
some time, some air.
definitely gonna open up.
Oh yeah, a little
Yeah.
time to
That's
breathe.
a true thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a science behind that. They open up like there's
Oh
no tomorrow.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that difference.
Oh, there's
a
a lot of bottles I've had.
Maybe it's
you know.
mental, but who knows?
Yeah, I'll pop them, and I mean, there's a bottle that I haven't had, but the hype and the consensus behind them is all positive, and I'll pop the top, and I'm like, all right, it's good, but it's not there yet, and then let it breathe a little bit, give it some time, and then I'll pop it again, take a pour, and I mean, it's like wow, totally different element.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still waiting on that Maker's Mark.
Which one? The one you have?
What was
French?
the French oak.
The
yeah.
French oak.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm still waiting on that one.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
We did the podcast on it. It's
Yeah.
still sitting.
Well, I got one with the old label if you wanna put some time on it.
All right, so that was the last one. So I mean, again, thumbs up. All the Knob Creek, they have my both thumbs up because their sweeter profile.
Yep.
Right.
I mean that's the way I lean anyway. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't, but I have a terrible
I
sweet tooth
think
that
it's
I wish
a-
the dentist
there's
would just
a-
take out.
There's more sweeter profile things on the market now.
Yeah.
Granted, there's a lot of stuff we have never
Oh,
tried.
God.
We'll never
So
see
much variety.
potentially. But from what we can get our hands on, and what you guys see when you're out traveling here and there, and I feel we have a decent collection between all of us.
Yeah,
And we know what we like. We're kind of on the same page.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
But
That's what I'm always
good.
looking for the next
Yeah.
best thing.
Overall, yeah. I mean, all very good pours tonight. I gotta say. I mean, I'm
Definitely. Knob Creek didn't let us down.
yeah,
No.
again, like we said earlier. I think I said it earlier. Have this on your bar at your house, or you go to any
Any of them. Yeah,
restaurant.
any
You
of
go to a
gonna have
steak
it.
joint.
Right.
Go to a steak restaurant. They're gonna have it. Like we have stuff around here. Like we're
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn. They're gonna have Knob Creek 9. They don't have Rye,
Yeah.
but they're gonna have
Yeah.
Knob Creek 9 on their bar.
And they're probably going to have the 12. Maybe.
maybe maybe a little higher end, but
And your higher end spots are going to have the 18.
yeah, yep.
And I mean, the element that's nice here with Knob Creek, everything we've tried tonight on the podcast, I mean, you could find these bottles.
Yeah.
You don't have to, hold your breath when you walk into fine wine and good spirits or anywhere else. And keep your fingers crossed that they're there.
Yep.
One of them's going to be in
Right,
there.
they're going to be there.
Again, Jim Beam. I mean,
Right.
they've been doing it for a long time.
The one I wish we did was the rye bourbon. I wish we would have seen that.
Blue Rye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's out there. I tried it.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence about
I've
it.
seen it. It's in a lot of stores, but I want to try it.
I had a
That's a 7 and 9. I think they do. The
yeah.
mix
I had a
between-
fresh crack pour of it.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about it. It was not my first pour of the night, so going back to it palate wise, I could have been a little bit burnt out on it, but we'll try it. I know.
Yeah.
We'll get our
Follow-up
other buddy on
episode.
the old podcast here and have him
Yeah.
bring it. We'll try that one because I'd like to revisit. It's the first time I ever had like a bourbon rye or as a blue rye as they call it.
And not to interrupt you guys. So out of curiosity's sakes, which I don't do this on a normal basis, splash of water in this since it is a fresh crack, definitely opened it up a lot.
Really?
Oh, big time.
Oh man.
Big time.
So see again, the 12-year over the summertime, I was drinking on the rocks.
Right. Which
So
makes
I
sense
pour
if
that
you
over
eat-
a big ice
Definitely
cube.
bring the sweetness out.
Oh man,
Definitely bring the
oh, yeah.
sweetness out. Hands down.
Sitting by the pool,
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
That was a great time.
I've actually poured.
With a cigar though.
I've actually poured this bottle.
Bingo.
This bottle, the 12. I've actually poured that into an old fashioned.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic.
That's a
But
high-end
it's
old-fashioned.
a high end old fashioned. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like $71 a bottle. So, you don't want to do that every day. But it was one of my better old fashions.
And that gets back to that. The ones that do the droppers with the water.
Yep.
How many drops of water until
Yeah.
it fits your palate?
Yep.
We
That's
would
it,
all
I
hit
mean,
something differently
yeah.
though.
Right.
We're not that we're really off the rails now, but
If they're still
going
sticking
with
around
it,
this long,
going with it though.
thanks
That's
for
how
listening.
they do it. That's how they do it. They take 125 proof whiskey
Right.
Yeah.
and proof it down to 100. That's all water.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys know what they're doing because clearly we like it,
Yeah.
Well, like you said earlier, Chris, I mean, it doesn't hurt to play around with some,
No.
adding some water or a couple
Yeah.
ice chips or a cube.
Yeah.
And, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to do to enjoy the pour.
Exactly.
I see a lot of funny YouTube videos over, when I'm out there browsing the internet or whatever. They'll take, I've never had it, but Pappy Van Winkle, everybody knows who Pappy is, I'm sure, or what Pappy
Never
is.
had.
Yeah.
You got some guys, they'll pour 3/4 of a glass of Pappy and put some Sprite over the top of it and drink it down. I mean, I know where they're going with it. Like I said, I never had it, but
Save that for some old Canadian club.
If you can find it that way, yeah, go ahead. But we can't get that
they're
stuff.
funny videos. They're the ones that get the views on the internet. So
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll be lucky enough to do that when we have millions of
See what
dollars in our
happens,
bank
yeah,
accounts.
right.
But anyway, yeah. I guess we'll kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up for sure.
We're rambling.
Definitely.
Late night.
All right. So,
I'm Jesse.
Johnny here.
and I'm Chris, and we'll catch you with the cork out.
We'll see you later.